All right. Today's class is the 411 class. What I will do is do the 411 worksheet at the end of the class, like the last 30 minutes. And in the first half of this class, I'd like to talk about business planning, taking action, your goals. So I'm gonna start with a couple things like why the 401 is important is because it gives you a guideline and it helps you break down your goals. So you have better chances of accomplishing them with that by doing it in monthly, weekly, and then to reach your 1 year goal. So clarity, priority, action. These things are so important when it comes to business, is having the right mindset and having your goals written out so you can accomplish what you need to. So is there anything that anybody wants to talk about in particular when it comes to that? I'll leave it open for a discussion and I'll touch on a few key points. Any questions on Zoom?
I got a question. You do this monthly, right? I think I heard somebody say you do it monthly.
Yeah, you do. So you do it monthly, you do it weekly.
Okay.
And if you don't complete that week, then you can just merge it over to the next week.
Okay.
No questions on Zoom?
Yeah, people keep getting on that.
So should I give it a few more minutes? How many you got on there now? Okay, so there's a lot of people on there. Give it like a couple more minutes and I'm just gonna go over what I said, everything I just said, like a minute or two, and then I'll go and kind of start. I don't have more questions. And you got that worksheet right there?
Be thinking about your goals if you're on Zoom.
And also think about any questions that you want to ask. Well, I guess I'll put that on there. I'm gonna give you two of them and you go whichever one you want to go with. Does everybody on Zoom have the 411 worksheet?
No, I don't have it. Was
Okay.
there one?
The link is in the chat.
The link is
Okay.
in the chat. And at the last 30 minutes is when I'm gonna go over the worksheet and how to do it, and answer all questions about it.
Okay, got it.
How many on there now? All right. Let's go ahead and move.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna go over it again. So this class is part of it. We're gonna go over a 411. We're gonna work on the 411 in the last 30 minutes. The first 30 minutes, I want to talk about the importance of setting your goals and planning. So basically, I'll leave it open for discussion. I'll touch on a few key points as well. So if you have any questions, you can ask them and I'll go over them with you. But clarity, priority, and action is so important when it comes to your goals. This the GPS is implemented with the 411 as well. And that is allowing you to achieve your goals, break it down and actually see it so you could tweak it, perfect it, however need be. So these are proven strategies that have been worked time and time again, not just in real estate, it works in other businesses as well. People share it, they use it for the longest of time because it works. So the importance of having a plan is something we're going to talk about in this class. Are there any questions right now that somebody wants to ask before I touch on a few key points? Okay. Let me go ahead and share this video for everyone to see before we start. You might have seen this already, but I think it's a really good video to kind of demonstrate how important it is to have a plan for your business. Pop up on here.
You have a work life,
I do.
family life as well? Children?
Not yet.
Not yet. What's the nature of your work assignment?
I direct an international firm.
An international firm? So you really are interfacing with all kinds of people in the firm and outside the firm.
That's right.
You want a rich personal life and a rich family life. Do you ever feel like you get bogged down in the thick of thin things?
Yes.
Well, that might be analogous to all these little, small things that tend to fill our life. And that just little by little, they just accumulate. Now, your job, you can't go above this, is to get all those large rocks in the jar. Good luck. What's that one called?
Q2, planning, preparation.
Right. Planning, preparation, prevention, and empowerment. Okay, the next rock she's putting in there is called relationships and family. You didn't look at that third rock you put in there. That's employment, some key employment issue, and then you put major projects here. I can't get it above there.
I haven't worked it yet.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Is that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. That's called service, community, church. Do you ever feel like this?
Yes.
How many feel like this? By moving the little things around, you might squeeze in one more of those big major things. It's almost. Wow, that is good. You know, if it doesn't fit, force it. Here's something that's called urgent and important. It's a quadrant 1 thing that is blindsiding you, that it's your biggest client, that if you don't get back to that client now, you've given up your vacation.
No.
And you have no special block of time just for yourself. I'll tell you what you can do if you want to.
What's that?
You can take a whole different approach. You have a totally fresh bowl. You can work out of a different paradigm altogether.
Well, then I'd rather put these in the bottom and then pour the little pebbles on top.
Employment,
Big opportunity,
big opportunity.
important and urgent, block of time. Those young children keep looking at me. Glad my husband's not here. Now I dump these in there.
Okay? That's great.
Okay, so what are some things you guys noticed with that demonstration?
Things out the way, pick the little things.
Yeah. What are some other things?
Yo,
Yeah.
One thing I noticed was like this, when they prioritized the little rocks, you had to force the big rocks to get done. So you have to force the vacation. You got to force that personal time instead of prioritizing, your big rocks and then forcing the little stuff that don't even matter.
Yeah, if you notice, it took work for her to move the little stuff out the way just to fit the big stuff. Like you had to work at moving that out the way. But if she would have put it in the right place to begin with, then it would have been nothing. The other stuff just fell right in place. And then also, what's some other things that you guys noticed about that demonstration?
Hank said your big rocks come first. Katrina said the most important things are larger and go forward first.
Yep, all those are correct. Well, one other thing I wanted to point out is you notice how everything still fit? Everything still fit. She didn't have to leave out anything when she just switched the order that she put it in. And it wasn't that those little things weren't as important, but in some sense, it's important because altogether it makes up who you are, right? Whether it makes you happy or sometimes something little helps you in another place, and it's still necessary that you want in her life. So that was one of the things I wanted to point out about that. So it shows how important it is to focus on the right thing. And focusing on the right thing, there's a quote that says, don't mistake movement for achievement. It's easy to get faked out by being busy. The question is, busy doing what? Doing nothing is better than being busy doing nothing. So, that with planning, you want to make sure that you're focusing on the right things. That's why we have stuff like the GPS and the 411. The importance of writing things down. I brought this book today. So this book is something I got in like 2017, and I would write my goals, in this book. This is before I ever did real estate at all. So I've always had the business mind state, and before I heard any of this type of stuff, before anybody taught me any of these things, I just kind of knew the importance of writing down my plans. Now, in this book, all the plans that I have put down in here so far, and even like database, like I have a database before I knew what having a database was, but these were my contacts and people that I needed to accomplish certain things. And I have all their names written down. And I used to have all these people saved in a group text message. When I had to send out one message, I sent it to all of them. And then, clothing line, breaking it all down, what I'm going to do with this, breaking it down, how I'm going to do with the website, breaking it down, how I'm going to market this. And funny enough is I wrote these things down, and I would say that I may have went back and looked at them 1 or 2 times. And I realized that the fact that I just wrote it down was able for me to work it out in my mind. And they say that 42% of people, you are 42% more likely to achieve your goals if you write them down. 80% of people don't set goals for themselves. Less than 1% review and rewrite their goals on a daily basis. So I know other people that I've talked to that have done the same thing. I've noticed that them accomplishing their goals as well by writing it down. Now, not everybody goes back and looks at it, but you might go back and look at it like a vision board, right? How people talk about, oh, I did this vision board and I didn't even know, but one day I looked up from a long time ago and that was the exact house, or that was the exact car, or things like that. That's, writing it down and planning it out. I don't know how it works like that, but psychologically it's somewhere in your mind and it just comes together, right? So all these things are important to, I say these because show how important it is for that GPS and that 411 and putting it together. Does anybody have any questions or anything that they want to say about anything I just said?
Talk about the difference between the GPS and a 411.
Okay. The GPS is the 135, right? So I did a class on the 135 before. I didn't get like really technical in it, but there's actually like when it comes to like the business part and you're doing it for real estate, that you actually break it down numerically based on what you want to achieve, right? Like you start off with how much you want to make, and then you break that down into your listing side, your buy side, then you go down to your conversion rate for your appointments and all that, right? I didn't get too technical with that. I just broke it down into you have one goal, you have 3 strategies, right? So 3 priorities for that, 3 different levers, and then you have 5 different strategies, which are your action plans to accomplish that. And so actually you use the GPS and then you take that and put that into 411, and that's starting to break down how you're achieving that. There's another step actually before this that is basically, and it just talks about planning and how you plan and what are the action steps for your planning and things like that. And then you go into the 135, and then you take the 135 and go into the 411 and implement that. And the 411 allows you to see it on an everyday basis to kind of track it. Did everybody do their, does everybody have a 1-3-5? Does anybody have a 4-1 already? No? I will. Let me just go over the 1-3-5 really quick of mine before I jump to 4-1. Mine was so I started off with a goal. My goal was to make 250,000, right? To do that, I needed to sell 50 houses, what according to the average cost of the homes that I'm selling, right? So 25 buyers is one priority. And then I have 5 strategies to break that down, right? There's 3 priorities, 5 strategies. So the strategy I had was doing my D2, adding 20 contacts a week to a smart plan, doing first time home buyer workshop, once every other month, then like a mailer campaign. Then my other one was 25 listings, time block to call FSBOs, attend daily script practice, farm prospect around solds, send mailers, and create a calling team. My third priority was starting my investment company. That's building a list of contractors, building a list of investors for hard money lenders, partnering with the right people, creating an acquisition team, and bringing my wife on. So that's my 1-3-5, right? 1 goal, 3 different priorities, 5 strategies to accomplish that. So taking that over to the 4-1-1, if everybody has that, I'm gonna go with, I've seen different ones. There's 2 actually with this class. One you can kind of create yourself, the other one that just has a personal and business. But the most common one I see is it has job, business, personal, and personal finance. They say that you typically don't do more than 5 of those goals in order to like maintain and do it correctly. Like you having more than that, then it might be a little hard for you to achieve those things. So on the 4-on-1, where it just says personal and business, what I did with mine was I on my personal side, I did save 100,000, lose 15 pounds, and pay off credit cards. On the business side, start investment company, make 250,000, close 50 transactions. If you see how things on my 1-3-5 are implemented on my 4-on-1, because then I'm going to go into how to break some of these down on a monthly and then weekly basis, right? So let's just say I'm using a 1-month example for this one right here. Even though these goals are yearly, so I have these are not going to change. My monthly goals could change per month based on what I'm trying to do. And it's not uncommon for your yearly goal to change as well based on, and it should change. If you are on the right path, you might realize that, okay, this is more what I'm aiming towards, because if you realize, some of that big rock and small rock thing, like that example. So those were my annual goals. So my monthly goals for that on the personal side was save $8,300 a month, right? That's just to save 100K a year. Lose 15 pounds. My monthly goal is eat salad and for dinners and eat healthy, right? Pay off my credit card bills, need a budget. So I'm going to stay on that and break that down into weekly. So the weekly goal for me to accomplish that monthly goal, I put go through my finances so I can save that $8,300 for the eat salad for dinners and eat healthy, meal prep. And then the pay off my credit cards is pay a little bit down on each card. For the business goal for the month was get approved for a HELOC loan, make 20K plus in commission, close 4 deals, right? So to break that down, for the get approved for a HELOC loan, I got to get in touch with the right HELOC company for the week. For the make 20K in commission is to find business daily, basically lead gen, right? And then the close 4 deals is to make sure I time block appropriately so I can work on my deals. Because working on my business and working in my business, 2 different things for me. So I like to separate the 2 so they don't intertwine and I can execute my plan like I need to. Any questions on that? No questions? Any questions, David? Does everyone have, now have their 411? I want to be able to answer questions if you need help filling it out, if you want to fill it out now. If you're starting to put, fill in the blanks on there, this workshop is to help for me to help you go through it if you have any questions with it. If there's no questions with it, there's also, you also go to YouTube if you want to get more in depth with it to look at different people's 411s and how they implement them. Some people break it down, take the 411 and then break it down in the calendar, on their calendar and how they're going to accomplish this and time block it. Yeah, look at the calendars actually look like your calendars, like they're color coded and everything like that. So they're taking the 411 and they're breaking it down in the calendar, how they're accomplishing their goal week by week. And one thing about the weekly goals is, you're doing it by the week. So that's that 1 week. So then the good thing about the 411 is it allows you to scale what you're doing to see if you're accomplishing that. So when the next week comes, if you're looking over at that column and you didn't finish that, then you can just move it over, right? And so then as you keep doing that, you're gonna have to, and if you did accomplish it, now you got to add the next step on what you're going to do on that week, right? So then at the end of the 4 weeks, you go look at your monthly goals and you should see, did you accomplish that? And if you didn't, you should be able to see why you didn't accomplish that, because you most likely didn't accomplish those weekly goals. And if you accomplish those weekly goals and didn't get that, then that means when you go and do your monthly goals for next month, carry on over that monthly goal, because that monthly goal was to accomplish that annual goal, right? And you carry that over, and then you're going to readjust what you're doing because you did it last week and it didn't work. You didn't accomplish that goal. So you might have the wrong goals. And by having that written down and going through that, actually breaking it down, it allows you to know where your focus is and redirect your focus in the right direction. And that goes back to, what you focus on expands, and not being busy at doing nothing, not make mistaken being busy for achievement. And so breaking this down allows you to see that and tweak it and adjust it. So overall, you can accomplish that annual goal, accomplish that monthly goal. And that is the point of the 411, really being able to see it on a weekly basis to accomplish that. So it's like, you start with the year, the month, the week, but really how you work it is go backwards.
Alicia said it's easier to do your GPS first and then take those priorities and put them on a 411.
Yeah, so having your GPS, yes, exactly what she said. Doing your GPS first and then breaking down those action items, right, on here on your weekly goals and just following it.
And then Katrina, you have your hand raised. I don't know if you want to come off mute.
Yes, good afternoon. Because I have always been confused on the two of these.
Mhm.
So the GPS, is that on a weekly, monthly, or an annual basis? And I do know that it will change as time go on, but should this be filled out for a monthly basis or an annual basis?
This is more like you're breaking down what you're doing for the year to accomplish a year goal. That's what your GPS is. So you're not looking at your 5 strategies aren't broke down in weeks. These are just things that you need to accomplish in order to reach a priority, right? Because you got goals, priority, and strategy. So your strategies are not broken down in weeks. These are just the top strategy. These are your big rocks.
Okay.
You need to accomplish in order to fill that priority, which is the bucket, right? Okay. And you start with that. You start off with a goal. Do you have any more questions about that GPS? Because I think it's having a clear understanding about it will also help you move to the next step with the 411.
Okay, thanks.
I'm all over for questions now. So I went through the 411. So
That's it.
Go.
Does anyone else have questions? All of these templates are in the Office Google Drive folder. You can just download them and work from there.
If you have any questions, you can reach out to me, and if you want more in depth, so you can fast forward, rewind, and keep going over it, YouTube, 401 KW, and there's a whole bunch of different classes or people talking about the 401s, examples, good instructors. So YouTube is a good guide to go over that.
YouTube or KW Connect.
And you can find the actual, if you don't get this link, you don't do it now, and you decide to do it later on, and you're wondering, oh, where that was, you can go on KW Connect resources, my toolbox, and you can download this 401 link, and 401 worksheet.
All right.
Sweet.
Thank you.
Perfect. Like that.